Okay, by many requests, we are doing a drain seminar today, just basically going over quick issues, why drains may be causing issues. If I guess one of the biggest things is if the system was installed during the wintertime, drain wasn't tested, now it's summertime, you say it's got leaks, it only makes condensate during the summertime. So the biggest thing I want to point out is what needs to be done during installation first, and then we'll go over possible reasons for condensate problems. I'm going to pull this out of the cradle and just go over a couple brief things. The drain pan is right here. Basically this drain pan, it's all one piece, and let me just touch on this hole down here at the bottom. All right, you can see the hole in there. It's designed to hold 0 water. So that water drips off of this copper tubing into the hole and then should go at a downward angle from there straight down. During installation, if the wire was pulled off without the cover, this machine has a cover which goes on. I just pulled it off, save some time, but it goes on just like that. It should be taken off during installation, but just to, if it's not, the wire can be tried to be fed up through here, which if it bumps any of these wires, breaks this strap, can cause problems because the water can actually get on the wires and then overshoot the pan. And I've only seen that a couple of times, but it can happen. So always check that during installation. Make sure nothing's been moved. Make sure condensate's not dripped off. If the machine's not level and it's actually twisted to one side or the other, then it could actually run down to the side. So that's why it's very important for this machine to be level. On this machine, the drain is coming out of this side, which it is movable. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The drain needs to be moved. Then right here, you can see how it's basically a nipple that comes out. Drain actually goes over it, so there's no way for that to leak unless this drain tube is actually going up. It's got a kink in it, anything of the sort. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. So if the drain wants to be coming out the other side, you pull that off. Here's your nipple here. Inside your pipe is this. It's got a rubber seal, and it's actually got an O-ring over that nipple as well. So it just slides right back on. And make sure it goes all the way on. So if you want to move it to the other side, there is a plug over here. And I pulled it out. This is the plug. So all you do is you remove your plug, pull your drain line out, move it to this side, and make sure you put the plug back in. The plug is dry, so it can be hard to get back in. Very simple. Get some lubricant, petroleum jelly, any type of lubricant. I mean, you can just use water. If you don't have anything else, get a stick of butter, just anything, and it'll slide right in. I mean, it takes a couple seconds. But when you slide it in, make sure it goes all the way to the edge. Don't slide it halfway. Slide it in, and when you put it in, twist it at the same time. Drain pans are designed to hold 0 water. So they're made to go into the pan and straight out. So make sure the system's level. Make sure the penetration through the wall is not too high. So it's very important. That's why I made this mock wall here so we can see it. And actually on a normal wall, you're going to have sheetrock, paneling, gypsum board, something. This machine will actually be out from the wall. If it's an exterior wall, then it's quite possible this could be a 2x6 wall. Could be block wall. It could be anything. So more than likely this wall is thicker. So it's more than likely a lot thicker. And you've got insulating board, vinyl siding, so it goes way out. So make sure the hole, I can show you how important that hole is. If the hole is cut up too high, then what's going to happen is when you push your drain out, it's actually going to go uphill. So make sure the hole is cut exactly at the right level. If for some reason you drill your hole and it is too high, you have a drain problem, very simple fix. Just take your bracket that mounts on the wall, which is right here, pull your air handler off, get somebody to hold it for you, set it on the ladder, however, and just move it up a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, however. And it's also important to know that when that hole is cut, you cut it at a downward angle. If you cut it level, it's going to be a problem. So cut it at a downward angle, that way, and you can see that on my installation videos. That way you know you're not going to have a problem. The penetration through the wall. Once you finish the installation, make sure that this hole here is sealed. It's got to be sealed. Be careful doing it with spray foam, because what can happen is spray foam can get in here and it can just actually push on the air handler. That it expands as it goes, so it can actually push your air handler off the wall. It could throw it out of level. So be careful with spray foam. And actually spray foam, we've seen it before, what actually gets up into the machine itself. It just expands and gets in all the cracks, and now you have places water can actually follow down that it's not intended to, because the spray foam has actually created a whole nother design of the machine. The flare nuts on the machine, very important. I stress this very, on a central air condition, standard air condition, these lines do not sweat. Only your large line does. On mini splits, they're metered outside and it works way in. So this is not a typical high side, low side line. Basically, this is part of the evaporator. So both lines will sweat. That's why both come insulated. Whenever you finish your install, you need to wrap these lines very good and seal them completely and wrap it all good with tape. So make your connections, do your tests, come back, wrap your flare nuts with insulation, and then come back and put your big insulation over the top. That way you ensure that sometimes you might think you got a drain leak, but you really don't. You just have some piece of copper showing, insulation not secure, or even seen this before too, where you push it through the wall. If somebody's tugging on it or pulling it, or if the insulation on the drain tube gets torn, then that can cause it too. So just be careful with all those steps. So again, I just want to show you how the drain actually works. So let's put something level on here. So if this is your wall and this is your hole, so that's level there. So that kind of shows you how this drain can go out. This would be the bottom of your machine. So this drain actually has to go out, and you can see if it's level, what's going to happen is actually already flat. So if that hole is at an angle, that's how it should be. So with this wall here, it kind of helps out. But also remember, this wall is a lot thinner than your wall. So your wall is, on a typical house, if it's a 2x6, it'll be that thick plus the exterior, and then also your interior and insulation. So you've got a wall that's probably this thick. So anyway, that's what I want to show you. So that drain leaving out, and you'll see in the installation instructions of, I think, just about all machines. I hadn't looked at all of them, but I would guess all of them would say it. The drain line has to be at the bottom of the refrigerant lines. It cannot be in the middle. It cannot be on the top. It has to be at the bottom of the drain. So make sure it's at the bottom. Make sure it's going down, and you will not have a problem with the drain. Another issue I've seen is, for some reason, if you cannot take the wall penetration straight out, some have tried to make the penetration on this side of the wall and take the refrigerant tubing across the back and then turn it and go out. Very hard to do, because these lines, like I said, they have to be completely insulated and sealed. That's a great thing about this machine, is the drain can go out both sides. But the machines that don't go out both sides, if you try to run it level and then out, you have to make sure this is completely at the bottom of the machine the whole way. Very hard to do because it's such a tight quarters and not a lot of room to get the insulation completely sealed. So just make sure that that's going downhill, and anywhere possible, take this straight out the back. If you can't take it straight out the back, you have a hard time with it, fur your wall out, get you some 2x2s, or you can get some double gypsum board and go around it and make you a frame. You can make a frame and then go around it with that. But this is just a quick tutorial to show you how it's done. And I've got, I'm gonna pull the coil up on the other side and just show you how to clean it. So hope this helps out with some drain issues. Okay? And it's time to do your spring service, which these are air conditioned, so they still need to be serviced just like any other air condition. During your spring service, if it's been a couple years and you could have buildup or anything else in your drain pan, then it's good to just remove the 2 screws from your coil, like that. I'm holding the camera as I'm doing this, so and there's your pan. So that kind of shows you how your system is set up in there. That's your pan. The coil sits in one and it drains completely out. And you can see right here, this is the actual hole that it goes out of. So it's completely downhill. It's all one piece. So there shouldn't be any issues for water if that drain is actually going downhill. And the coil actually sits down in the pan. You can